Good afternoon. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People, March 24th, 2018. We have been talking about Barack Obama going to Japan tomorrow on March 25th. I have a very important connection I am going to make for you. Very important and very, very serious. Follow with me now. Okay, so first of all, we see that Barack Obama is going to Japan on March 25th. What does that mean? Why on March 25th? What is it? Okay, first of all, we are watching March 25th is the day of the Annunciation, which is the day of the Incarnation of Mary, the day Mary was incarnated with Jesus Christ, according to what is celebrated 9 months from March 25th to December 25th. And so we have a pattern of the incarnation event of the Messiah. And since we know that December 25th is really connected to the Antichrist, to Nimrod, to the spirit of Antichrist, to Antiochus, then what we have is we have this connection that we are watching with a possible event on March 25th that has to do with the Annunciation. It has to do with the incarnation of the Antichrist. It has to do with the Antichrist, the phoenix rising out of the ashes. So what is the connection between March 25th and Japan? Well, let's take a look here. I got two serious connections for you, and I will leave all the information and all the links so you can see everything that I am sharing with you. Okay, here are two very important connections I'm going to make to you. Okay, the first connection that I'm going to make to you is it does not have to do with the date of March 25th, but it has to do with the location of Japan and the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. During the final stage of World War II, the United States detonated 2 nuclear weapons over the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on August 6th and 9th, 1945, respectively. The United States dropped the bombs after obtaining the consent of the United Kingdom as required by the Quebec Agreement. The 2 bombings killed at least 129,000 people, most of whom were civilians. They remain the only use of nuclear weapons in the history of warfare. Okay, so the first thing we see is that Japan is connected to the only use of nuclear weapons in the history of warfare. This was done under international alliance as required by law under the Quebec Agreement. Things that they had planned, things that they had agreed upon, laws that were put in place that the international community signed off on. And here we have Japan connected to the only use of nuclear weapons in the history of warfare. Now, the next connection I'm going to make to you connects Barack Obama to March 25th and a very, very cryptic statement that was spoken by Barack Obama on March 25th. Let's take a look at what I'm going to show you next. What I am going to show you next is a 45-second clip where Obama spoke at the Hague Nuclear Summit in the Netherlands on March 25th, 2014, where Obama was talking about the threat of a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan. This was spoken on March 25th. It was spoken by Barack Obama, and the cryptic statement had to do with a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan. So here we have a connection between Barack Obama, Japan, the only place in the history of the world there has been the use of nuclear weapons. It's connected to March 25th. And on March 25th, 2014, Barack Obama spoke these very dark and very cryptic words. Now, before I share that clip about Barack Obama and nuclear war in Manhattan, let's take a look at the Phoenix, because we may be looking at the time of the Phoenix rising out of the ashes. And this may be the reason why Barack Obama has gone out of the country if something major is about to take place in the United States. Phoenix mythology, in Greek mythology, a phoenix is a long-lived bird that cyclically regenerates or is otherwise born again, associated with the sun. A phoenix obtains new life by arising from the ashes of its predecessor. According to some sources, the phoenix dies in a show of flames and combustion. Although there are other sources that claim that the legendary bird dies and simply decomposes before being born again. There are different traditions concerning the lifespan of the phoenix, but by most accounts the phoenix lived for 500 years before rebirth. In the historical record, the phoenix could symbolize renewal in general, as well as the sun, time, the emperor, the empire, metempsychosis, consecration, resurrection, life in the heavenly paradise, Christ, Mary, virginity, the exceptional man, and certain aspects of Christian life. The Feast of the Annunciation. The Christian celebration of the Annunciation on the 25th March marks the angel Gabriel's visit to Mary. The Feast of the Annunciation. The Feast of the Annunciation marks the visit of the angel Gabriel to the Virgin Mary, during which he told her that she would be the mother of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. It is celebrated on 25 March each year. More importantly, since it occurs 9 months before the birth of Jesus on Christmas Day, the Annunciation marks the actual incarnation of Jesus Christ. The moment that Jesus was conceived and that the Son of God became the Son of the Virgin. The festival has been celebrated since the 5th century AD. Remember, the clip that you are about to hear by Barack Obama was spoken on March 25th, 2014. This is Steve Fletcher with the trumpet for my people.
So my response then continues to be what I believe today, which is Russia's actions are a problem. They don't pose the #1 national security threat to the United States. I continue to be much more concerned when it comes to our security with the prospect of a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan, which is part of the reason why the United States, showing its continued international leadership, has organized a forum over the last several years that's been able to help eliminate that threat in a consistent way.